and welcome to episode 18 of my TEW 2020 save from then to now, when we take the WWF from 1992 and try and make it up to the modern day. If that's something which interests you, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know what sort of era are you looking forward to seeing the most in this save. As for this episode though, we've got an episode of Superstars. It's the go home show before our first Saturday night main event, number 30 in actuality. So I think it's a pretty big show. We've got two big matches. Bret Hart is taking on Gordy. Hulk Hogan is going to be in action as well. There's a lot going on in this show. Lex Luger's facing the model Rick Martel. This is a pretty stacked show, actually. I'm pretty happy, though. I'm pretty excited by it. Last week we got an 85. Let's see if we can beat it. This episode is taking place at the Charleston Civic Center at Charleston, West Virginia. So we're in WCW territory here. Let's see if we can pull it off. And the show opens with a 72 rated match. Martel gets a 70, Luger gets a 66, and they have great chemistry which boosts it up. A 72 overall as Lex Luger picks up the win, defeating Rick Martel in just over 8 minutes with his loaded forearm smash. It's a fun old school finisher. It was a little bit of a narcissist versus model match. Makes sense. A 72 is something I'm happy with. And it leads straight into a Horsemen promo. Flair does most of the talking. They're in their sort of off the stage banquet section with their champagne. Neither Flair or Michaels are wrestling today, so they can drink. And now Luger's already wrestled, so he can have a drink. And they say there is nobody that Hogan will be able to find that is on the level of the Horsemen. Hogan will struggle. He will not find a partner. So on Saturday, he will have to go into this match on his own against Flair and Luger, two of the greatest of all time. Hogan, you say you're immortal. You say you are the pinnacle of the mountain. It's time to cut you down. And on Saturday, we will. It's not the final angle for this match, as you can probably expect. This is one of the big matches we've got. But great little promo from the Horsemen. Undertaker and Paul Bearer back in the workshop. Undertaker says, Paul Bearer says, Hogan, last week you waited until Undertaker had gone for you to come out. You sent Neidhart out because you were too scared of the Undertaker. You've got your head so focused on the Horsemen, you've forgotten the danger that is standing right in front of you. Hogan, there is nothing which you could do to prevent this. The Undertaker will be the WWF World Champion once again. And once again, he will beat you to do it. 64 rating, a little bit of a disappointing promo compared to a lot of the other promos we get at this point. But it continues Undertaker's build towards Hogan. Hogan is being chased from all angles at the moment, which is something I love as a champion. It makes the title feel special when everyone is gunning for it. And Hogan is the target of so many people right now. It's fun. Bulldog picks up a quick victory against Nikolai Volkov, who was under contract at the start of this game. We let his contract run out because I didn't think it needed him. But he was in the area and I needed some local people to squash. He is decent pop, so Volkov, you can take the pin. 1, 2, 3, get hit with the running power slam. 56 for Bulldog. I don't care about Volkov's rating. Gets us a 51 overall. I mean, Volkov is declining physically. I'd had nothing for him. I thought it was best to let him go. We've got a little bit of a interesting promo here. It's sort of mini promos all spliced together with the editing team. And it's the Smoking Guns, Hacker and the Barbarian, the Head Shrinkers, the Mountie, and John Nord all entering their names into the IC Championship Battle Royale next week. They all want a shot at the IC title. And they've all entered their names into the tournament, into the match to try and get it. We get an update with Mike McGurk, who of course has been our roaming reporter with High Voltage. And they announced it together on screen for the first time since Mania, because it's only been one or the other recently. They announced that they have been cleared, and next week they will be returning to the WWF. They'll be returning to Superstars. And that is officially announced. Next week we will get the return match of High Voltage. 47 rating, good stuff. Another squash match against another local talent who was actually a talent which we had earlier in the save, who I let contract expire because I didn't have anything for them. It's Yokozuna versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He comes out with the American flag with the 2x4, very pro-America, and he gets absolutely squashed by Yokozuna, who again doesn't take a bump. I will make a big deal when he takes his first bump. 36 rating though, pretty naff. What ported down so much? Both guys are inconsistent, but Yokozuna's squash master attribute is a great help. 45 for Yokozuna, 52 for Duggan. And after the match, Max Moon runs out through the crowd, jumps the barricade, and starts and punches Mr. Fuji with a shot to the back of the head. He starts beating down on Fuji, and Yokozuna jumps down and grabs him by the back of the throat and tosses him into the ring. Moon scrambles up to his feet as Yokozuna tries to get back into the ring. The crowd hopefully going mad for him at this point because they've just had a massive anti-American win for him. And you know, the American crowd love being pro-America. We know this. Moon runs off the ropes, tries to hit a big drop kick onto Yokozuna, who just stumbles back slightly, but does not fall down. Moon gets back up to his feet, goes to hit a big shoulder block, and gets caught with a clothesline from Yokozuna. Gets picked up, tossed into the corner, big corner splash, goes up to the middle rope, bonsai drop. Mr. Fuji gets into the ring, sort of stumbling, holding the back of his head, and starts shouting at Max Moon. This Saturday, you are ended by John Nord. The Barbarian will end you. There's nothing you can do about it. You certainly can't beat the insurance policy. Gets a 54. Continues the Fuji-gun storyline. We get sit-down interviews with the Block B of the boot camp. Of course, who all competed in the obstacle course last week. Paul Levesque, Chris Canyon, Sean Morley, and Duke Drosy. None of them are in their actual gimmicks yet, so we're not going to get Porn Star, Morley, Connecticut Green Cut, Connecticut Snob, Levesque. We're not getting garbage man Duke Droese or any form of Canyon. These are just them as themselves. They will all pretty much probably be repackaged once this tournament is over. This tournament is basically just to fill 5 months of TV and have fun with some of our developmental guys. Simple as that. 81 rating though. Oakland is great in these segments. Not as good this week as he was last week though, which is a shame, but hey ho, we move on. And that's a great Superstars match. Should we have had this main event? Maybe. But Bret Hart defeats Terry Gordy in just under 19 minutes with a sharpshooter. Gets an 85 rating, a 92 for Hart, and a 64 for Gordy. This match, the Bret Hart match versus Steve Williams, will be main eventing Saturday Night Main Event. Despite the star power in the other big match, it definitely wasn't going to be Max Moon versus Nord the Barbarian, was it? But 85 rate, that is insane. Terry Gordy got a penalty for stamina in a 19-minute match. It's a bit of a shame. To be fair though, he's normally a tag team guy. Dr. Death Steve Williams attempts to jump Bret Hart, but Hogan makes the save. We get a bit of a face-off between the Violence Connection and Hogan and Hart. Maybe a tag team match in the future? I don't know. 100 rating though. Massive segment. Sergeant Slaughter announces this week at Saturday Night Main Event on the pre-show, so it does not tank our rating. We are going to have the first match of the boot camp. It's going to be an 8-man tag as the 4 wrestlers from Block A take on the 4 wrestlers from Block B. So that's Brian Lawler, Scotty Riggs, Jeff Jarrett, and Glenn Jacobs against Chris Kanyon, Sean Morley, Paul Levesque, and Duke Droese. A pretty big match, actually. It's the first time we're going to see these superstars in ring. I expect it to tank. I expect it to be absolutely awful. But it'll be a bit of fun. There is going to be some in-ring action in this, and it's going to end with a triple threat. The final is going to be a 3-way, a triple threat match. Which is going to be fun. A 75 rating though. 75 rating though. We then get Jack Tunney sitting down at his desk and running through the card for Saturday Night Main Event. Telling you tickets are still available if you wish to be there in person. But the main event will be Bret Hart defending the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship against Dr. Death Steve Williams. Hulk Hogan and a partner of his choosing will take on Ric Flair and Lex Luger. Max Moon will take on John Nord, and as just announced by Sergeant Slaughter, Brian Lawler, Scotty Riggs, Jeff Jarrett, and Glenn Jacobs will take on Chris Kanyon, Sean Morley, Paul Levesque, and Duke Droese. And now, I hand you over back to our commentary team, Gorilla Monsoon, Randy Savage, and Bobby the Brain Heenan for the main event of tonight. And it gets a 78 as Hogan defeats the Samoan Savage in just over 10 minutes with the big boot into the leg drop. He's not just going to beat him with a big boot, is he? Come on. Big boot into a leg drop. Hogan gets an 85. Samoan Savage gets a 47. He's returned to the company. He's going to end up aligning himself with the Head Shrinkers as a sort of 3-man group. Hacker and the Barbarian may end up joining them. Make it an actual 5-man faction. But after the match, the Horsemen come out and surround the ring. well, 3 sides of the ring, not including the hard cam, Shield style. Bret Hart runs in to make this to back up Hogan. The Horsemen enter the ring, get ready to jump, and suddenly the Ultimate Warrior's music hits. He comes charging down to the ring, slides into the ring, and stands alongside Hogan and Hart. And they brawl. 3-on-3. The Horsemen patter and run and sort of slink back to their table near ringside, and Hogan grabs a mic and says that he has found his partner for tomorrow. It is going to be Flair and Luger against Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. 100 rating to close the show, and it's an 88 overall. Increases our pop in 26 regions. But what the game thinks isn't as important as what you think. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the show, and leave your predictions for the 4 matches of Saturday night's main event. The pinned comment will have the matches listed on it, so you can just copy and paste them from there. But let me know your predictions. If anyone gets all 4 of them right, you'll get a shout out in a future episode. These are kind of bulk recorded at a bit, so it won't be the next episode. It won't be the episode after Saturday night main event, but it'll probably be the episode after that, maybe. Depends how much I'm bulk recording. But you'll get a shout out in a future episode, I promise. But that's all for today's episode. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.